decided to parade it in the streets like it's no big deal. That's how wicked our nation has become. The nation is rebelling against God. And you make no mistake, you cannot rebel against God without there being severe consequences to that rebellion. No nation, no people can rebel against God without there being severe consequences. It cannot be done. And that's been happening throughout history. Why do you think Adolf Hitler and the Nazis were able to murder millions of people? Because they rebelled against God. And the consequence is the mass murder of millions of people. The death camps, Auschwitz, Dachau, Buchenwald. Why did that happen? Because people forsook God. Because they wanted their comfortable lifestyles. Why do you think Christians did not speak up against Adolf Hitler in the days of the final solution, when Jews and others were being rounded up to be taken to the death camps? It's because they wanted to be comfortable. And that's the problem in America. Why has the abortion holocaust continued for 46 years? It's because the vast majority of Christians have decided to put their comfort, their luxury, their ease above the lives of their preborn neighbors. They know the second greatest commandment. They know that it says to love your neighbor as yourself. But they've decided, no, my comfort, my ease, my luxurious lifestyle, that brand new yacht that I'm on, and that's what we have in our culture. Many Christians who are disobedient. This Holocaust should have been ended decades ago if Christians would love their neighbor as themselves. That commandment to love your neighbor as yourself, that includes every child that's murdered by abortion. Not just by surgical abortion. Children who are murdered through chemical abortion, through hormonal birth control, in vitro fertilization, IVF. When couples go in to have children conceived, but more children are conceived, and guess what happens to them? They are discarded. They're frozen, murdered, experimented on. And it's so easy to look the other way in the midst of this silent Holocaust. Why? It's easy to look the other way because it's not you. It's not your arms like that are being ripped off. Put into a freezer. He said every man always has handy a dozen glib little reasons why he is right not to sacrifice himself. And that's what we have in America. We have most people, majority of Christians, they come up with every excuse they can think of, every excuse in the book, why they cannot sacrifice themselves, why they can't give up their lives, why they can't go out to the public, they can't go out to the local abortion mill. Disciples of Jesus Christ were brutally murdered. They were tortured to death. They were murdered in ways you cannot even imagine. And that's the history of Christendom. That's the history of Christianity. People who are murdered are martyred. We're not talking about people even being arrested here. Not just that. Or people being yelled at or cursed at. I'm talking about Christians who throughout history have been butchered to death, literally. They've been forced to the stake and burned alive. They've had their own limbs torn off. They've had things done to them that you can't even imagine. Tortures that if you knew what would happen to them, it would take your breath away. And it continues with the silence of the vast majority of Americans, and it continues with the silence of the vast majority of Christians. Sitting in a mall somewhere to show the bloody photographs of the murdered preborn. Oh, that's too frightening, I can't do that. Well, the Lord Jesus Christ died on the cross to save you and to give you the ability to do that, to obey Him. I mean, how on earth can we obey God and turn a blind eye to this? I submit to you, it's not possible. How can Christians that live in a culture, a pagan culture, how can they tolerate this? It's not possible. If you're a Christian here and you see these photographs of the murdered preborn and you feel nothing, perhaps you should examine yourself to see if you're even saved. I don't know your heart, but you need to examine yourself because this should bother you. I've seen this bother pagans. I see non-Christians see these pictures and it bothers them. So why doesn't it bother Christians? Why is it that our nation is drowning in sin? Pornography everywhere.